In this video, I try and get my car parked outside the Monaco Casino and see whether it still holds up to be a modern supercar. Weather's terrible outside, so today we're doing things a little bit differently. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how I got my Ferrari 360 into Monaco and then whether I got the fabled spot outside the Monaco Casino. Now everyone's always wanted to do it, it's a bucket list thing, but is my car classed as a new enough supercar to take that centre stage? And did I manage it? So the journey starts in the UK, my hometown. We drove from here to Portsmouth, where we got the ferry across to Le Havre, and then we drove across France. So this was my first bit of European driving on a different side of the road. And I've got to say, it's actually pretty easy. The only issue is overtaking, but when you're on motorways, it's easy enough. From there, we then travelled across France to the Mont Blanc tunnel, which is 12 miles underground. So you can imagine how good that 3.6 litre V8 sounded going through that tunnel. After that 12 miles underground, we came out the other side into Italy. This was our first chance to take my 360 home, back to its home country. From here, we stayed in Courmayeur. We then travelled down out of the mountains into that beautiful scenery that is Lake Como. We travelled around Lake Como for a few days, driving it from the very bottom to the very top, being able to see where the Concours d'Elegance takes place. Unfortunately, it wasn't the right time of year. Saw some beautiful cars driving around, and then this is where I set off then to Monaco. So what I did was I travelled from here down to the Italian Riviera, and as soon as I hit the Italian Riviera, it was like a coming home for my car. I got on the motorway, and as I got on the motorway, 12 supercars and hypercars overtook me. There were some nuts things. We had a Dallara, an Aventador SVJ, a GT3 RS, F12 TDF. It really felt like all of a sudden my car was home and that it was reunited with his best friends. So after this, I travelled into Monaco. I stayed just outside in Menton. I had an Airbnb for about £60 a night. And then I really got to drive into Monaco and experience it. It was the first time for me. It was a real bucket list thing to do. So when I headed in for the first time in one of the evenings. One of the things that surprised me most was actually the price of parking. I think I paid something like €2 or €3 to park up for like 4 hours. Where, I mean, in the UK, I would have probably spent £12 and I wouldn't have been in Monaco. So we travelled around Monaco, seeing the sights, obviously seeing the cars parked outside some of the casinos, and actually driving the track. I got to see some of the elements that kind of Monaco has to give and really experience it. I went inside the Monaco Casino. Unfortunately, no footage. They don't let phones in there. And I actually got to try and park outside. Now, this was a bucket list thing, but I really didn't think they were going to let me. So, obviously, when it comes down to supercars and that parking, you expect it to be for the very best. One thing that I learned, actually, which a lot of people don't realise, is you actually have to be part of a club primarily to park there. Obviously, then, if you have something that's a little bit special, they do let you park there on a quiet day, but I think they kind of prioritise those club members. I got there on the first day. I tried to park outside, and it was a no. I didn't get in. I was gutted. So the next thing I knew, I went in the Monaco Casino, and I tried speaking to them and said, what do I have to do to park there? And they said, oh, it's nothing at all. It just depends on demand. So I tried it the second day, nothing. Now, on the third day, I was leaving Monaco. And I felt like I had my tail between my legs. I'd not achieved what I'd gone there to do. And just as I was driving out of my apartment, I thought, you know what, I'll give it one more go. So I drove up. I drove through Monaco, following the track itself. And then I finally got up to Monaco Casino. I put my indicator on and nothing happened. It was closed. I thought, oh no, I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm not going to be able to park outside. I'm not going to get the photo. And then I noticed the taxi rank was free. So from a cheeky moment, I decided I'd pull into that. So I managed to get the photo, which I'm going to insert here. I had about 3 valet drivers having a go at me. I explained what I was doing and they were like, oh, fair enough, just do it quick. So I got the photo. I left Monaco. I travelled up then through Saint-Tropez up to Aix-en-Provence. I went up to Germany where I got to do my first bit of Autobahn driving. That was incredible. I got to 135 in my car, and I know a lot of people will say it could do much more. I think its top speed's 180 mile an hour, but it felt quick. When you're going in the overtaking lane, you've got things pulling out at you kind of into the fast lane that you have to then stamp the brakes on. On top of that, you have the traffic going the other way doing an equal speed. So it feels like you're doing like 200 mile an hour. But yeah, I really got to open up the car and enjoy it. And it's quite interesting about how quick things start coming at you the quicker you get. I know that's pretty self-explanatory, but visually, it's something quite spectacular. So from there, then we traveled through Belgium. We then got back to Calais and we came home. So it was a 3-week trip in all. I got to see some amazing places, some amazing cars, and meet some amazing people. And yeah, it was the first kind of 3,000 mile road trip I've done in my car, and it did not miss a beat. I had one bit of advice before leaving, and I actually hold it to me to this day. I said, look, I'm taking my car over to someone that I know that has a collection and that drives over to Europe quite a lot. And they said, look, they said a Ferrari, it excels at heat and it struggles in the UK. Cars don't like the wet and the damp, especially Italian cars. That's where you'll have your issues, whether that comes from electrics and driving capabilities of the car. But in the dry, warm temperatures, the car excelled. It was fantastic. It went everywhere I wanted it to. It managed the hill starts that were definitely an issue in Monaco that I did not expect. But yeah, it was perfect. I got to take my car to its home. I then got to take it to Monaco and put it on its pedestal outside the Monaco Casino, and I got to experience all of it with my first Ferrari. So that's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's a little bit different, a little bit of a story time. The weather outside is terrible, so I couldn't go out and film, so this is a little bit different. Let me know if you enjoy this. I'm actually thinking of doing a few different videos. That's going to be kind of my top 10 cars that I would buy now for a price bracket, maybe 25 grand. Further to that, I'm thinking about maybe doing the history of the Ferrari 360, if that's something that people are interested in. And yeah, if you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like, please give it a thumbs up, which is the same thing. Subscribe and ding dong that notification bell. And hopefully you'll be here to follow me on my journey and hopefully some new purchases, which I'm going to keep you updated on pretty soon. All I can say is it's got a horse on the badge, but it's not a Ferrari, and it's a really nice dark blue. So hopefully that pays off. Obviously, it might not, but there could be something very cool coming to this channel. So thanks, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.